Hi, so I'm going to look a bit different in this video. It's fine. What I want to talk about today is facial feminisation, and I can't really do that without showing you how I actually look. So, no makeup, this is me. I haven't shaved today, and I'm not sure I shaved yesterday. I'm not doing dodgy camera angles where I look great because I needed to show you how I actually look, and I need to show you everything I want to perhaps change about my face and things that I've done before. So yeah, I am not thrilled about my appearance right now, but that's fine. That's part of the video. That's part of the point of whatever this is. Whatever. Hi, it's me. You gotta like me. Yeah, this is what I look like. So I've spoken before about how my transition has changed as I've got older. Things that I did want to change about my body, I no longer see as necessary. Other things I've gone ahead with. Surgery I thought would be quite far down the list, and actually turned out to be one of the first things I did. But before surgery, before I realised that was a valid opportunity, the first thing I focused on was facial feminisation. I went for liquid FFS. Now, facial feminisation can mean surgery, it can mean actually changing the bone structure and things like that, and really reshaping things, doing lots of scary but sometimes necessary stuff behind the scenes, whatever. Liquid FFS is more about little tiny tweaks, little things here and there, little the small stuff. It's three things, so it's fat reduction or displacement, it's fillers or Botox. So those three things make up liquid facial feminisation. Now, I have had various things done with this regard, and I spent a lot of money on this before surgery. I went professionally, I went to somewhere called therapy clinics, with an IE on the end. So therapy is in the French word. They tend to be in shopping malls and things like that, so they're quite expensive, but they're also quite professional. And it was an NHS nurse who was administering the FFS. Now, obviously, I've had facial hair removal. I did 2 years of this, and what you can see here, if you can see it at all, is what's left. Shaving in the morning is a quick job, and that's something that basically all cis girls will do anyway. So I sort of don't care anymore with that regard. If it starts coming back in thicker patches, I'll go back and get laser, but I've stopped taking that now. But yeah, this is me. This is hi. When I went for that, I also had consultations about generally, fillers and Botox, things like that. They were so trans-friendly and affirming and whatever that they actually convinced me to go for bottom surgery, and that's how I ended up having bottom surgery. So sort of off the back of these consultations for the fillers and whatever, yeah, ended up having bottom surgery, so yay. Right. What have I had done? Now, liquid facial feminisation, I need to be quite clear, is temporary. It can last 6 months, a year, a couple of years, maybe. It's been a couple of years since I've had it, so almost everything is worn off. So when I'm pointing to things, it won't really make sense, but I'll try and shape my face as I do it and show you what I've achieved and what I would do again, what I wouldn't do again, and stuff like that. So I had lemon bottle, and I had that done somewhere that felt like someone's back room. It wasn't great. Injections along here of a fat dissolver didn't do anything for me at all. Wouldn't recommend it. All it did was swelled my neck for a few weeks. When I had that done, I also had fillers done here. Now, I'm quite happy with how this is settled now, but I don't know whether this is just settled to what was before, and so I don't know if what I had done as fillers I actually didn't like at the time, or whether I'm just happier with my face now how it was before. So I don't know whether this is a result of the fillers or not. What I was trying to get rid of, you can see, is this double chin. Now, everyone gets this. I'm looking downwards, that's why it's there. On the female line in my family, we get jowls, we get, that develops. So that's just something that happens, that's how my face will end up. Now that's just something I need to get over. That's internalised fat phobia, internalised jowl phobia, I suppose. But yeah, there are things I can do about that. I'm not really minded to right now, but that's something I'm trying to get over. Mentioned in previous videos about my gut, having my gut out in public. Yeah, it's fat phobia. It's not gender related. This is something all girls go through. This is just what happens. So it's not a gender thing. I need to detach it from my gender transition and actually look at it as fat phobia, basically. I need to get over myself. There is nothing wrong with having a bit of fat around here. Yeah, okay, it's fine. And anyway, it only appears when I'm looking at certain angles. It's not there all the time. Actually, I've been suffering with COVID and especially long-term long COVID. I don't think I'll ever have this throat back how it was. I tend to get, swollen lymph nodes and things. And that makes it a lot more visible when my throat's croaky like this. It's not something I can really do anything about, so that's always going to be there. And like I say, that's not feminisation, that's just it's fat phobia, isn't it? So let's ignore that part. Yeah. But yeah. Going back to therapy clinics, which is where I had the Botox and fillers, one thing I had done was masseter Botox. Masseter Botox I had in here, and actually, if you look at my face, it's quite rounded. It wasn't beforehand, it was more square. I can't really show, sort of imagine me like that. You can see how, because I've pushed up the masseter muscles and they're more tense, the face is more square. And if I do that, it's more relaxed, it's more curved. That has stayed with me. I'll probably get it done again at some point. That is the one part of liquid facial feminisation I probably would have done again. The masseter Botox really works, and it was about 30 quid or something daft like that. Ask for it specifically, masseter Botox. If they don't know what you're talking about, get them to find around different clinics, because they can and have done it. It's really good. At the same time as that, I had a lip flip done. Now that is where they shoot Botox up here into this bit here. That shortens this part and flips your lip up like that. That has worn off after the years. I also had lip fillers done at the same time. Now, I can get the same effects as that with Barry M lip gloss. So I no longer see that as something that's necessary. And actually, the Barry M lip gloss, the XXXL capsaicin orange coloured lip gloss, if you put it on for a couple of hours and then wipe it off, you get the effects of a lip flip and lip fillers. You don't need to have them done. So ignore that part and just spend £5 on this Barry M lip gloss. It's amazing. Try it out. Be careful if you're allergic to capsaicin. That's the only thing. It gives you a minor allergic reaction, which does the same effect as the Botox, and actually it looks exactly the same. When I went into work the next day wearing this lip gloss, one of the girls remarks, "Oh, have you had your lips done again?" And I hadn't. So yeah, that's one thing. Botox wise, I didn't have anything else done, but what I would have done is something around here. But you've got to be careful here. You need a mixture of Botox and fillers, because if you Botox here, you lift up and then you get wrinkles. If you feel the wrinkles, you're pushing down the brows. So it's very difficult, it's very tricky. You need someone really skilled to do it. And if I play around with my eyebrows here, you'll see the effect is much different depending on where I do it. So you need it in exactly the right place for the purported feminisation. But I'm trying to think of different words for it than feminisation, because it's not really about femininity. It's just face sculpting, really, in a way that I want it. Now, I don't really know how I want this part of my face, but that is where I would get liquid FFS in future. I'm not too concerned about wrinkles, but I just don't want to add more because, why would I? So, the other place that I had fillers done was along the cheekbone. That has stayed there. I still have the tips here. When I turn to the side, you can see it. And that is what gives me the profile. When I say I'm choosing careful camera angles, those fillers are what give me that profile. I've been called out before for using face app and things like that, but I don't for that. I do for certain things. That shape is natural in that it's there and it's actually me, but that is from the fillers along the cheekbones. So that is something I do perhaps recommend. The feeling of that, it wasn't painful at all. It was more, you could hear the needle scraping on the bone as she did it. So if that's going to make you jump, you can't really have that done. Okay. Anything else? I think that's it with regards to liquid FFS. I think that's all I've had done. I could have had fillers in the cheeks, the triangle here. Might perhaps get that done. Now, my thinking is that I've been to these clinics that aren't really specialists in transgender care, so they might not necessarily know how to feminise a face like mine. You might not think I need anything doing, but whatever, that's you. That's your own life, whatever. If you find someone who is a specialist in liquid FFS and you've been to them and you can vouch for them, please let me know. Because I would like to have a proper consultation with someone and see what we can actually do with my face. But I'm kind of okay with my face. As much as I'm saying this is me and whatever, this is the real me, I'm fine with how I look right now. And sorry, this is a revelation as I'm doing the video that I'm realising I'm fine with how I look right now. I do a lot of makeup and the contouring that I do helps. I sort of don't mind that because, again, all girls put on makeup. That's just something that cis girls do. So, I'm no different to any other cis girl. All cis girls shave. All cis girls put on makeup. All cis girls get dysphoria. All cis girls feel a bit funny about their appearance from time to time. And all cis girls have a lot of things they want to change about their bodies. And actually, it's not just girls because I'm NB. I'm non-binary. I'm a non-binary girl, but I'm still non-binary. This applies to non-binary people. This applies to men. This applies to boys. This applies to everybody. Everybody goes through these same things. Just because men don't talk about their dysphoria and their dysmorphia, everyone goes through it. So don't think yourself as different with that regard. You're just having something that all cis people have done. Now, this brings me on to the problem. It wasn't easy for me to get liquid FFS. I had to go through so many consultations. I had to fill in so many forms, had to have signatures, had to give on permission. I had to have counselling before I had this done. From the nurse, from the NHS nurse who was doing this stuff. But I still had to have counselling from her so that she could see that I was going through the right things. And actually, I'd have a few sessions with her for free beforehand, before she would do anything with my face. Now, you might see this as a good thing, because, she's doing quite important things to your face and whatever. But I shouldn't have to prove that I'm transgender to have these things done, because anybody can have these things done. A cis man who's going in there to have a bit of Botox can just go in there and have a bit of Botox, and they do all the time. A cis woman, again, can do that all the time. But because I mentioned that I'm transgender, suddenly I'm a transgender patient, and suddenly everything has to be done by WPATH and by the book and whatever. So I am a little bit uneasy about that. I'm just the same as anyone else, really. So, yeah. That out of the way. Right. The other thing I've done for feminisation is hormones. Now, hormones themselves do fat displacement and things like that. I weight cycle. It's perhaps unhealthy, but I go through, periods where I'm lower, periods where I'm higher, and that sort of shifts the fat around my body. that has had an impact in my face quite profoundly. If you see photos of me from beforehand, I do look different. And that obviously has other effects on my body, so breast growth and things like that. But yeah, I have obviously as well had bottom surgery. Now, I mentioned before, because I had the counselling before having the fillers and injections and whatever, it was actually her that convinced me to go for bottom surgery. That was the best counselling session I'd ever had in my life. That's why I'm in sort of two minds about that counselling, because it was good. And that actually convinced me to go and get bottom surgery. But obviously the effect that has is hormonal and things like that. Hairline, I have these widow's peaks. It's not male pattern baldness, or whatever you want to call that. I'm sure there's a better term. I don't think. But I have started having hairs growing here, in the patch. So I think that's slowly unreceding. So perhaps it does run in my family somewhere and I don't know about it. But yeah, I don't think it does. I don't think that I was receding before HRT, but I seem to have stopped it. I took finasteride for a short while, a few months, but I stopped that for personal reasons. You can keep on with it if you want to. But actually, the effects of bottom surgery seems to be reversing something there in the same way that finasteride perhaps might have done. So yeah. Sorry if I've been a bit rambly on this video because the girl is on a period and this has been a bit of a funny day for me, but I'm fine. I'm okay. Yeah, so just to recap, if anyone does have professional FFS with like someone who specialises in transgender care, please let me know because I'd love to see them. I will travel to like London or whatever if it's necessary. And I'm sure Blue Sky will chip in some funds towards it. Tips, I'll drive for January. I'm having a dry January. I understand there's not much money out there. Just to sort of diverge, I have put some really good photos up on my Blue Sky and my other socials, my adult socials and things. If you like them, please consider tipping. I have a lot of things coming up this month, like my MRT and hormones and things like that. It's going to be a month where my outgoings are more than my income. So just please think of me. But maybe fill some mutual aid for the wildfires in California and, you know, look at what's going on in the Gaza Strip and things like that, because there's a lot going on in the world. So don't put me before anyone else. But, you know, tips and likes. I love you, I love me. Again, revelation, I love how I look right now. I don't give a fuck what you think about my appearance. I'm going to carry on doing makeup because I like it, but yeah, I am having sort of gender euphoria right now. So, peace, I love you.